Hansika, for such a wonderful performance. It was really joyful to watch you dance. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
So now we move on to our talks from our keynote speakers. And we begin with our first keynote speaker. It gives us immense pleasure to introduce him. Padma Bhushan Dr. Raja Reddy. He is synonymous with Kuchipudi dance and is regarded responsible for bringing it on the cultural map of the world. For his services in the field of arts, the government of India has conferred on him the Padma Shri and later also the Padma Bhushan Award. In 2010, he was conferred honorary doctorate by the University of Hyderabad for his contribution to Kuchipudi. May I now request him, Padma Bhushan Dr. Raja Reddy, to please enlighten us with your words. Padma Bhushan Dr. Raja Reddy, can you hear us? We please ask for a minute for him to join.
No problem, we can go further, right? So,
I think he may need some more time to join. Till then, probably we move on to our next speaker. Our next speaker is a living legend and one of India's most celebrated and outstanding Kathak maestros of the present age. Padma Shri Shovana Narayan, in her career spanning several decades that has seen her mesmerizing audiences all over the world, in several prestigious national and international festivals, she has been conferred with numerous awards, outstanding among which are the Padma Shri Award for Excellence and Outstanding Contribution to Dance and Sangeet Natak Academy Award. May I request Padma Shri Shovana Narayan to kindly speak some words?
Namaskar to everyone. First of all, let me congratulate Dr. Rajesh Mishra for this great effort, to Rajini Nagrani for who's emceeing the entire evening's program, and also to Mr. Raigar for the Honorary Consul General, you know, the Honorable Consul General, who is supporting the event, and for his great words of wisdom. And to all my dancer friends and colleagues, it's wonderful to see some of them. I can't name everybody, but let me say it's wonderful to see Mona Lisa, seeing her after a long time, Prakruthi, then of course my students, Anvita, and so many others. So it's wonderful to see all of you. And once again, congratulations to everyone. Well, we are talking about yoga. And as the Honorable Consul General, Mr. Raigar said, for me, dance has always been yoga. It has never been anything else. And I think all the dancers with one voice will say that dance has been yoga for them. Because, and I'd like to also address a few issues, that how we look at the multi-facets of yoga and how we as dancers are going through it. Now, the multi-facets of yoga, as Patanjali has codified it, like even in our dance form, Bharat has codified it and others have codified it. So Patanjali codified it into 8 ayams, and that so which we all are aware of yam, niyam, asan, pranayam, pratyahar, dharana, dhyan, samadhi. So all these 8, अब हम जितने भी dancers हैं, we are all actually traveling through it. And for the common man, as someone Mishra said, as well as Raigar ji said, that they think your asanas as the only thing. But for us as artists, we know it. But let me also put forth my point of view. Because first of all, I think the first thing when I said dance is yoga for me, because it reminds me of a beautiful, just a statement on yoga, and it says, Yogain chittasya padena vacham malam sharirasya cha vaidyakena. And of course, it's a longer one. I'm just quoting one line, and which it is, that one which just purifies your mind, body, and everything. So here it is, and dance does exactly that to all of us. And also, but today when we are talking about COVID-19, COVID-19 everywhere. It is a beautiful, again, a saying, which an old Sanskrit verse that, if you look at the way the dancers and the artists have treated that whole period, it's a very trying period of this COVID-19. And yet you'll find the positivity oozing out of all the artists, of all the dancers. Their creativity is unstoppable. They go on and on. And so what is it? Chinta to sabhi mein hoti hai. We all have our little, everybody is going through their personal ups and downs and problems, etc. But yet, in spite of all that, the positivity oozing out of all the artists, the positivity in thoughts and in actions and through their creativity, I think that speaks volume. And it really talks about, there's one Sanskrit shlok which I'll share with all of you. Chitta or chinta mein kya matra farak hai? Sirf ek bindu ka farak hai. It's only a bindu. And it says, chintayascha chitayascha bindu matram vishishyate chitta dahati nirjeevanam chinta dahati jeevanam, which means that chitta or chinta mein, there's only the farak, the difference of one little bindu, and a chitta, the agni is just cremating the lifeless body, the lifeless. And what is chinta doing to us? It is actually sort of consuming us into ashes if we allow ourselves to be the jivanam, the living, are reduced to ashes through that excessive chinta. That means if you wallow in it, chinta sabko hoti hai. Now, coming to yoga itself, the Atho Ayam, I'd just like to go through it as how I perceive it and how that even say yam, even as a student, what does yam ask you to do? It asks you to do. It asks for ahimsa, satya, asteya, brahmacharya, and aparigraha. Now, in other words, that all of us are going through it, the purity of mind, the intention, the purity of intentions in learning as a student, and even as far as the guru is concerned, the conduct, the determination, and the purity of intentions, the determination is being assessed. So then when you're going on stage as a performer, again, now if I come to the second stage of Niyam, there are rules and regulations for everything. Tabhi to we talk about Margi and Desi and, Lok Dharmi and Natya Dharmi. So there are rules and regulations. There is a system. There is a procedure without which we, first of all, do not, go on stage. But not only that, it is also part of our training period, part of how we are imparting training, that there is a procedure, step-by-step procedure. So there is a niyam and qaida to everything, including when we are on stage. The niyam and qaida of how we unfold it. I'm just giving a bird's eye view of how I perceive it. Then I go to the third limb, the asanas. And of course, asanas everybody is well aware of. I think that's the most visible part of it. And the difference between the yoga practitioner's asana and our asana as a dancer is one little difference, but it makes a lot of difference. We are going through all the asanas, each and every one of us. In fact, if you look at the 108 Karanas of Shiva, which is again all the different asanas, but again, as far as aesthetics of dance is concerned, all of us in different dance forms are utilizing, in actuality, only around 60% of those asanas, of those karanas. Because I think from the aesthetic point of view, because even dance means aesthetics. Dance means there is a certain way of presentation. So, but after all our karanas are asanas, and we are going through the asanas. We might call it by a different name. Most of the names are the similar, but we might call it by a different name. But the yoga discipline might call it by a different name. Only in certain places, like a tadasana over here, we would call it by a different name in all dance forms, the tadasana or some other asana. Now, but the similarities that we all doing the asanas, each one. Now, what is the subtle difference? The subtle difference is that in our dance form, we are moving from one asana to the other effortlessly, seamlessly, flawlessly, without any pause, without any break to do a shavasana. Because we do our shavasana in the different dance form is when we finish a rhythmic pattern, a whole angahar piece, we finish it and then we come back. So after the sum, then we take ek avardan ka pause or a 2 hour thing. So that, but in that period of the 30-second rhythmic pattern or a 50-second rhythmic pattern or a 1 minute rhythmic pattern, I don't know how many asanas we are going through. We are probably traversing through 50, 60 asanas, one after the other, one after, or maybe 30, 40 asanas. But one doesn't realize how smoothly we are traversing through it without any sign of, jerks, but it is so smooth, flawless. So that is one basic difference. And we do it also at a speed. We do it at different tempos. So in all the dance forms. So I think otherwise, in its nutshell, it's the same. But in practicality, that's the difference. In part of that asanas, I would also like to touch upon the fact of mudra. Now the mudra yoga. Mudra yoga is part of the yoga discipline as a complete, and that is so important because each of our fingers, they are attached to the 5 elements, and how each one of them, what does this mean? What does this mean? This, and the different. Again, we as classical dancers, we are utilizing mudra yoga day in, day out, as far as our performances are concerned, as far as our dance is concerned, not only performances, because actually finally we are dancing for our inward journey, for our inward joy, for our inward anand. And so we are again practicing both. The dance discipline encompasses within itself even the both types of the physical asanas as well as the mudra yoga. And in this, interestingly, like some of y'all are Kathaks, I would, y'all would already know that, our basic position is the mudra yoga of yoga discipline. In yoga discipline, this is the Dhyan Mudra, the Chin Mudra, also loosely known as the Dhyan Mudra, and that happens to the basic mudra of Kathak. We start with this, we finish off, we come back to this. So, and why did it happen? This, I must narrate this whole story, that it was sometime in the mid-90s. I had met, I was dancing at Deoghar, where you have the, on Shivratri, where you have the big Shivji ka temple. And why I just asked ideally that, is there any elderly Kathaks around after my performance? They said, oh yes. So I went to meet that gentleman. He was in the village. And then while we were, at that time, he was 95 years old. So, and then he asked me the meaning of this. And all my life I'd been dancing. And then I just kept quiet. I looked at him. And then he explained that the Kathaks of yore, of the thousands of years ago, were all yoga practitioners. All yoga. And here was the Dhyan Mudra. And that the Dhyan Mudra became the basic mudra of the Kathak look, the Kathak family. And you find the mention of the Kathaks in the Mahabharata, as well as there's a Prakruthi inscription of the Maurya period, all about the Kathaks. So it was a very interesting discovery from me at that time. The linkage was very interesting. I would like to now go on to the pranayam part. When I was talking about asanas and saying how swiftly in all our dance forms we move from asana to asana, asana to asana, that means in our little rhythmic pattern. So when we are, and through that, we are expending a lot of energy. And little does the common man realize how much of breath control we are exercising. With our chest contraction and expansion of chest on each and every movement, what it requires, and every movement, every pattern piece actually involves so much of breath control in each and every dance form. And that escapes the common man's eye, because it is so subtle, but yet it is part of our dance discipline. But one more thing in this context also, I would say that there is in Kathak, there's one uniqueness of Kathak, is that in where after we've done a lot of energetic piece, we're dancing, say even a 1 minute energetic piece, you are spending a lot of energy. It might leave you breathless, but yet the Kathak dancer has to stop completely, motionless, and then come back and say what we say padhan. Somebody else in another dance form will say natvangam, somebody other dance form will give it a different name. But we ourselves, the dancer ourselves, have to do it. And that is one basic requirement of the training. And but if you're breathless, you certainly cannot do the padhan out in your breathless manner, because you'll miss the beat, you'll miss the rhythm, you'll miss everything. And because the rhythmic patterns are going from moving around swiftly through jatis, where the trish Jati to Mishra Jati to Sankeet, back to Chatushra, and so on and so forth. It's moving so fast. And if you don't have breath control to be able to say it, you're lost. You're completely lost. You become betala. So this Padhant aspect is one of the most crucial and difficult aspect for any Kathak artist, because they have to learn how to do breath control, to be able to control their breath, to be able to say the Padhant out without a hint of breathlessness. Now, in fact, in all this pranayama aspect, each one of us in all the dance forms are not, through our expansion, contraction of chest and the way we are controlling our breath, we are practicing everything, right from Kapalabhati to Bhastika, everything. So that is again how we as classical dancers, we are practice the pranayama is part of our discipline. And now let me come to the next one, to the fifth one. Pratyahar, dharana, dhyan. The three always come together, but but in this pratyahar, suddenly when you start involving yourself, you're removing, you become so focused. You're sort of now withdrawing into another world. That whole process of withdrawal, and that happens to each one of us as classical dancers. And so we go through that pratyahar and dharana stage because wahi determination hai ki yehi karna hai, and then you become lost. The moment you start becoming lost, you come to the stage of dhyan, because you have now you started enjoying it, and you are now becoming, and so your total focus, concentration is immersed in your what you're doing, and so you have passed through your pratyahara and dharana stage, you've come to dhyan stage. Here I'd like to also share something which I used to hear as a child. And when I used to be practicing, or in Kathak, there's another feature, very distinct feature, unique feature of Kathak is the tatkar. Just, I mean, the tatkar, we are just doing tatkar, and in that only, it's a world of its own, because the tatkar also is like any other piece, a rhythmic pattern that you're dancing out. It has a life of its own. It is, and it speaks. It also speaks for itself. So it has its emotions. It has its beauty. Now that tatkar. So I remember when I was doing, and I was just doing dadin dinda, dadin dinda, dadin dinda, dadin. और वो रेला जा रहा है. अब हमेशा हमें कहा जाता था, बेटा ऐसा रेला करो, ऐसे, और इससे उसमें सुदबुद खो दो कि तुम्हें उसमें संगीत सुनाई पड़े. आप जब तक उसमें आप एकदम मन कि आप में उसमें ना ऐसे ना होता, ऐसे धादिन दिन ऐसा उलट पलट ना हो, मतलब उसकी जो है वो कि धादिन दिन वो चल रहा है. अब आप जो है आप लंबित से शुरू कीजिए, मध्य में, द्रुत में, आती द्रुत में जाइए, लेकिन उसमें संगीत सुनाई पड़े, वो लॉ बन जाए. वो अब हम कह रहे लॉ की बात आई. So we are talking again about, there's another form of yoga, there's another stream of that law yoga. So that law ban jaye, which means संगीत सुनाई पड़े. The moment वो संगीत सुनाई पड़ता है, the moment, that is the moment of total immersion of dhyan that you have. This also reminds me when I was at Bodh Gaya and I was walking around and I said, talking to the monks over there after my performance at Bodh Gaya, talking to the monks, and I said, he was sitting under, they said, what do you think? He was sitting under one tree for all the 6 months? No, this was the place that he was walking around, walking. And what did it do? So what was he? But he was still meditating. While walking, he was still meditating. So, which is the Kriya Dhyan. While he was walking up and down, walking up and down, walking up and down, walking up and down, he was still in a state of deep meditation. And that is Kriya Dhan. And that is what that is what my guru, which I heard as a child say, कि आप ऐसा करो. तो क्रिया तो चल रही है, पैर की क्रिया चल रही है, लेकिन वो ध्यान था कि हम अपने उद्बुद्ध हो गए उसमें. संगीत, I hear music, I complete total immersion. So this was something, then suddenly the whole, when I heard the monks telling me that, it just sort of clicked. It just fell into place what the gurus were saying of that time, and what, of course, then you start experiencing it also. But there was something in that. So that is a beautiful part of the Tatkar part of it, to explain how that whole immersion, and that in the state of dhyan can be where you start hearing music from within. And then, of course, when finally, for me, it is when you're totally lost, you lose the I factor, that I am the dancer. I am doing this. This is it. But you become one with what you are. In fact, the dancer becomes the dance. When the dancer becomes the dance, then you have reached that state of so-called samadhi. That is the point of samadhi. When the I is not there, that ego factor is not there, the ego factor goes. And here it reminds me also, I'd like to share this Kabir ka doha tha. जब मैं था तब हरि नहीं, जब मैं था तब हरि नहीं, अब हरि है तो मैं नहीं. When the I was predominant in me, then it was I. I was not one, in union with the Hari, with the Almighty. But when I submerged I just lost a sight of the I within me, the ego within me, then I became merged with the Almighty. So I think that was a beautiful statement of Kabir. And so that is the time when the dancer becomes the dance. Then that is the state of samadhi. It could happen for a moment, it could happen for some time, but that is that point when it becomes a dance. So for me, yoga has been entire discipline, a life, a way of life. And now personally in my own life, it has helped me a lot. It has given me so much of inner strength. Not only this COVID times when I talked about creativity and positivity, but in my own personal life, the kind of health issues I faced, because I was born a sickly child, and it was only dance which kept me healthy. And obviously the recurrence comes, and I've had a brain stroke, I can't see, I've lost half my vision, I've had my skin problems of hyperpigmentation, which is like a galloping one, and which has a which affects the visual look, etc. And I've had everything. I mean, with the physical problems, the joints problems, etc. But what is it? And people's comments, the world can be very cruel, but they can be also very beautiful. So you have both kind of people in the world. You face cruel remarks, very unkind remarks, but you also face beautiful, affectionate remarks. So, but finally, what really makes you go through is your own inner strength, your own willpower. And that is where dance made me forget, what is it? What is it? It is just dance which is there for me, which gives me inner happiness, which elevates my inner being, which elevates me completely. I am in that space where I'm one with the Almighty. I'm one with the larger happiness, the joy, the anand. And in the other day, in a similar kind of webinar, somebody used the word, classical dance, the entertainment. I said, hang on, young man. Classical dance is not entertainment. It is, there's a world of a difference between the word entertainment and joy, anand. Entertainment is momentary. Joy has a different connotation to it. There's a different substance to it. And I said, entertainment is like a puljadi, the sprinkler, and anand, and the classical part of it, the classical arts and the like the dhoop, that even after it has lit itself and it's extinguished, yet the fragrance lingers on. The fragrance lingers on. The fragrance lingers on. It is still purifying the atmosphere around, and that is what the classical arts are. That is what yoga does to all of us as classical dancers. And I think, I always say, we are blessed that the Almighty's blessings on all of us, that we are classical dancers, we are artists who who have this avenue of creativity, of positivity, and of being, of experiencing that inner joy, of experiencing that inward journey towards that anand that we are all seeking. Thank you. Thank you to all, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Your energy is contagious, and thank you for taking us through the entire dance form and letting us know how important yoga is in Kathak and how Kathak dancers utilize this yoga form. It was really nice to hear you, and we can hear you for hours and hours together.
I hope I didn't exceed my time. You all have given me 15-20 minutes. I hope I stuck to it.
Thank you, ma'am.
We now have Padma Bhushan Dr. Raja Reddy with us, and I would again like to invite him. It gives us immense pleasure to introduce again our keynote speaker, Padma Bhushan Dr. Raja Reddy. He is synonymous with Kuchipudi dance and is regarded responsible for bringing this dance form into cultural map of the world. For his services to the field of arts, the Government of India has conferred on him the Padma Shri and later Padma Bhushan awards. In 2010, he was conferred honorary doctorate by the University of Hyderabad for his contributions to Kuchipudi. May I now request Padma Bhushan Dr. Raja Reddy to enlighten us with his words.
Namaskaram. We are really delighted with you to tell you something about Natyam and yoga. The family completely dedicated for this Natyam. Me, Radha, Kaushalya, and my two daughters, Yamini and Bhavna Reddy. And today, Bhavna Reddy is also from Los Angeles. He is participating in this program, showing some resemblance of Karnas and yoga movements like that. An absorbing recreating of the times when the Lord Shiva has created Natyam and yoga, mesmerized the entire universe. As you know, Natyam also combination of yoga. Yoga is also combination of Natyam. And I will tell you something about yoga, whatever I know, whatever my Guruji has told me, but Before that, let me pray Lord Shiva, who has created this yoga. Namaste Vyoma Rupaya Vyomadhipataye Namaha Naranari Shariraya Sankhya Yoga Paravartine Namo Devanathaya Devanugata Lingine Kumara Puravetu Devayate Namaha. We practice sometimes yoga because yoga is a part of dance, natyam. But let me tell you what exactly my Guruji told me about yoga, and we also, receive some messages. The word yoga comes from a Sanskrit root yaj, which means to join, unite, joining or unite. That is the meaning of yaj. In its spiritual sense, it is that process by which the identity of the Jivatma and Paramatma is realized by the yogis. The human soul is brought into conscious communion with God. Yoga is the science that teaches the method of joining the human spirit with God. Yoga is the divine science that links from yoga is the divine science that links him, yogin, with the Ananta Ananda, infinite bliss, and Paramashanti, the supreme peace. Yoga balances, harmonizes, and purifies and strengthens the body, mind, and soul of the practitioner. It shows the way to perfect health, perfect mind, control, and perfect peace with oneself, the world, nature, and God. That is yoga. And what is dance? The background of the dance is a poetic expression actually. Dance is a poetic expression of life's variegated modes, speaks through manifold rhythmic patterns, melodic gestures, subtle facial expressions, create a new world of ecstasy and ethereal existence. The background of the dance in India is not merely what a historian can describe, but it's more than the history of a man or of a nation. Dance is the essence both of eternity and time, the spirit of man and woman. It is Purusha and Prakruthi, an expression of the evolution of the movement, a truly creative force that has come down to us through the ages. This embodiment of sound and rhythm, which creates poetry of spiritual expression, is called Natyam, Nartanam, Nrutyam, or dance. That is, and we are from Telugu land, and we are dedicated completely for Kuchipudi Natyam, which is the combination of this yoga, Tandavam, and Lasyam. And this Natyam and yoga are Yasmat Panchendriya Pritihi Bhavecha Dukkha Vismrutihi Sada Saukyakaram Tat Yogam Tat Nrutyam. This yoga and nrutya pleases all the five senses, makes one to forget himself or herself and feel very happy. It provides pleasure, anandam, the bliss. That is the essence of natyam and yoga. So before going for this, how yoga we start with Omkara Shabdam. Om is the combination of A, U, Ma. A is for Vishnu, U for Shiva, and Ma for Brahma, for knowledge. That is Om. And before starting, as yoga stalwarts start Omkaranathanadam, we also start with Omkaram and salutations to the God, salutations to the Guru, and salutations to the motherland and to friends. That's how we start. Bhavana Reddy will show you the salutation. They are not linking Bhavana Reddy. We start with Namaskaram. Like yoga people also start with Surya Namaskaram. We start this Namaskaram. Bhavana Reddy from Los Angeles, he will show you. Connection.
Should I, Namaskaram everyone. Should I tell or?
Yes, please.
Om. Tehi hidda tam tat te. Te hidda tam tehi hidda tam takat tiki jan tadikitatum tam. As yoga people started, sitting in the, Padmasanam, sometimes standing. In dance also we stand in Ardhamandalam. Ardhamandalam. Bhavana sit in Ardhamandalam. Katikarna Samayatra Purpuransha Shirastata. Open your hands. Lakasta. Katikarna Samayatra Purpuransha Shirastata Samunnatam Puraschaivam Saushtavam Nama Tadbhaved. That is the Saushtam of Natya Bhangima. Now, connected, as I told you, the Shiva is the one who created this Natyam and Yoga. And all over the world, this Natyam and Yoga are, considered, are regarded as the divine arts of Bharat, for which our Bharat is known as Prachi Sudha, the nectar of the East. And as connected with the yogas, how in dance also we have got the movements. Bhavana Reddy will show you some karanas created by Lord Shiva. Bhujangatrasita. Unmattakam. Yeah, step with the Anchita Padam and Rechita Hastam. But the Hastas are known as Rechita Hastas. And Urdhvajanu. Take Panchita Padam up. Yes. This is known as Urdhvajanu. And Nupurapadika. Nupuram. Lata Vrishchikam. Right step in the back and Lata Vrishchikam. Yes, that is Lata Vrishchikam. Now, Argalam or Atikranta. That we practice every morning before this, starting the practice. This is called Argalam or The next is Bhavana. After this, Tam, 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 Tatam, Kaditam, Vikshiptam, Vikshiptam. This is called Karana, Vikshiptam. And Garuda Plutam. Talang, Vikatim, Talang, Vikakatim, Talang, Vikakatim, Talang, Vikam. This is known as Garuda Plutam. And will you show Mayura Lalita Karanam also? This is known as Mayura Lalita Karanam. Now show them Nataraja, the posture Bhavana. And when we dance, it is said, when Shiva danced, 5 rhythms sprang from his feet. Takita, Takadimi, Takatakita, Takadimi Takita, Takadimi Takatakita. And how we describe his activity, creation activities, that creation, playing of the sacred drum, preservation, the hand of hope, destruction, holding of fire, abode for the soul, indicating the sacred foot. Indicating the sacred foot. And finally, salvation. Aspiring to the lifted foot. This is salvation. And how we show this is in the rhythm, I will ask Bhavana to show you how Shiva, when created these rhythms. This is the Natyam created by Lord Shiva. As you know, Natyam is a combination of, I say, yoga, that I will recite the sloka. Natat jnanam, natat chilpam, nasa vidya, nasa kala, nasau yogena, nasau yoga, ena tat karma, natyesmin yanna drushyate. In Natyam, you can see the jnanam, you can see the shilpam, you can see the vidya, you can see the kala, art, and you can see the yoga. That's a combination of Natyam. That's why this Natyam and Yoga are the divine parts of our Bharat. Thank you very much. Thank you, Bhavana.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Raja Reddy. It was really enthralling to watch you and Bhavna in combination. And I must admit that some of our participants in the academy were also following and emulating Bhavna. So it was really, really helpful. It was like a live session for all of us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
We now move on to our next speakers, Hemant and Vaishali Panwar. They have incorporated Panwar Music and Dance Productions, a non-profit and charitable organization, in 2009. This powerful duo specializes in promoting Kathak, a classical dance form with its roots in North India, along with classical Hindustani music. They also produce musical concerts, workshops, and seminars that include visiting artists from all around the world. I welcome you all.
Namaskar.
Namaste.
I just want to say namaste to Rajaji and Shobhanadi. Also, I want to congratulate Dr. Rajesh Mishraji, and thank you so much for inviting us. And also, I would like to say thank you to the Madan Lalji HC.
Today the topic is yoga and dance. As Shobhana ji explained that the dance is also a yoga, and that we are here to talk about. I would like to recite the shloka from the Bhagavad Gita. Buddhi yukto jahati ubhe sukrit dushkrate tasmad yogaya yujjasva yogaha karamsu kaushalam. Yogaha karamsu kaushalam. Yogaha karamsu kaushalam. Now the shloka can be interpreted in various ways, but if I have to use simple words, that if yoga is there in your life, all actions performed by you will be nearly perfect. Because your wisdom is guided by divine vision. There are many similarities in yoga and dance, and one is abhyas. It really needs a great determination to get up early in the morning and do your riyaz or yoga. And many practitioners actually, they wake up at Brahma Muhurat. So, yoga sadhana, nritya sadhana, both are sadhana. And what is sadhana? When you are trying to get your spiritual goal, a practice that will lead you to achieve your spiritual goal. That is sadhana. And the one who does sadhana is sadhu. Sadhvi, sadhu, sadhak. That sadhak, when we say somebody who's doing tapasya. So yoga is a tapasya and nritya is also tapasya. Another similarity is Guru Shishya Parampara. Yoga follows the Guru Shishya Parampara and Nritya also follows the Guru Shishya Parampara.
I just want to sing something with that. गुरुम ज्ञान को दीप जलाकर दूर कियो अंधियार, लाज राखो अब गुरु साईं यही मेरो उजियारो, तन से मन से प्रण करूं ले गुरु राज से ज्ञान, शीश नवा कर नमन करूं धरूं ज्ञान पे
Dhyan. So, Nritya is not possible if you do not have a strong dhyan. And the yoga also follows the same. When we dance, we don't dance to a dimension of a room here. We dance according to our body. Same thing is with yoga. Not every asana is for everybody. Yoga is different for everybody. What their body needs, what they need to practice. And that's why a guru is required to take us on that path. Now, Hemanti and myself, here we have a school here, and we have, like always, yoga classes also in the school, and we organize
time to time the yoga workshop for the dancers.
For dancers. And we are dancing together for more than 25 years now. And if I have to divide a performance, any performance, I would divide it in 3 categories. Pratham Shreni, Madhyam Shreni, Uttam Shreni. Please bear with me, I will come to it. It is relevant to yoga. So Pratham Shreni. When a dance is of Pratham Shreni, it's like a Balman. Balman, where there is a reward. Like how you tell a child, there is a chocolate for you and you perform, and the talented child performs their best. So when there is a desire of reward, clappings, appreciation, then I consider that dance is in Pratham Shreni. Because this dance is being performed to impress the other person. So, as Shobna Didi also talked about, that when we are dancing, we are moving from one posture to another. The same posture which you call in yoga asanas. So that is the thing, asanas. And now Madhyam Shreni. Madhyam Shreni, the dancer has a great presence of mind. Dhyan is very important. Dancer knows how to connect well with the audience. Sometimes dancer come on stage and change its programming to suit its audience. They have a very caliber himself. He's dancing, he's improvising. At the same time, he's listening to the time cycle, which is being repeated on a string instrument or on harmonium. Yeah. And tabla player is also trying to match. It's a teamwork. And once person deviates from that path, you won't come on song. You'll miss the song, you'll miss the beat. So dhyan is very important while performing. So this is Madhyam Shreni. Now I come to the point, Uttam Shreni. So what is Uttam Shreni? Ekagra and Ekant. No matter, you are surrounded by thousands of people, but if dancer knows what it means to experience the solitude on stage, Ekant, and once dancer knows how to be Ekagra, highly focused, these 2 things like prerequisite to be Uttam Shreni dancer. Now the dancer is dancing and is not looking for the joy outside. Is looking for the joy inside. In Madhyam Shreni, the dancer had presence of mind. But now in Uttam Shreni, the dance is happening beyond the mind. Dancer is experiencing the joy. Dancer is not entertaining anybody. Dancer herself is being entertained. Dancer is creating patterns, dancing with different moves to connect with the creator. And all the artists who are accompanying, which we call Sahayogi Kalakar. There's a yoga too. They are not there to show off that what skill they possess. They are there to take the dancer to that level, that dancer can enjoy that eternal bliss, that moment of bliss. So dancer can flow in that movement. Dancer may take spins, may perform some patterns, but when it comes on some, that thera, that moment of stillness is yoga.
Wow.
When dancer is not dancing to entertain anybody, but want himself or herself to be entertained, that is yoga. Now, audience, when they watch such a dancer, they're not clapping or shouting. They're at peace. They're relaxed. They're simply enjoying. And now I want to say that such blissful dance is not possible at all if yoga is not part of your lifestyle. Because you have always looked outside, you have never looked inside. So if you have looked inside, then only you can get that Uttam Shri. And every dancer of the world, they only want, every time they ask Bhagwan that if they can get this Uttam Shri in dance, if they can get that feeling, that one moment, after that, it doesn't matter where they dance more or not, whether their dance is being seen or is neglected forever. It does not matter. That moment, which is very individual, is very personal journey of a person. That moment is yoga. And one has to bring yoga in the lifestyle to get that feeling. And the other one is Namaskar. Yoga starts also with the Pranamasana. And in dance also, you go to your class, you do the Namaskar. That makes you humble, which makes your spiritual journey easy. And that's the main aim, whether it is dance or whether it is yoga. They both go hand in hand.
I feel the yoga is lifestyle and dance is our life. Both the things are very important. Here in Canada, most of the temple which we have here, they all run the yoga classes free. And also, you will be very happy to know that cultural classes also, dance, music, tabla, etc. So, as Vaishali has told you that we also run the yoga class free in our studio. I just want to talk a little bit about my student life. Sangeet Natak Academy. We have a Kathak Kendra, National School of Kathak Dance, Kathak Kendra. And in Kathak Kendra, yoga was compulsory with the dance. And I would like to say thank you to Nisha Didi, who taught me yoga. When you do yoga, I feel that your mind become peaceful, your body become flexible, which you need in the dance. Each and every asana which we have, it's a, your organs will be healthy if you do. We have all the organs, we have different asanas, which keeps our organ healthy. If dhyanam is there, your focus is very good. Concentration is very good. If you do pranayam, the breathing, your stamina is very good. All over, I say, coordination of the whole body, mind and soul comes through yoga. And if your body is fit, your dance is hit.
And when anybody is dancing on the stage, they also show the same coordination of body, mind and soul. And Rajaji also said, we will also say the same thing, that Adi Yogi, Lord Shiva.
Source is same.
Source is same for the yoga
Yogeshwar.
and dance. And Nataraj, the first dancer of this universe, is also Lord Shiva. So yoga, dance is also yoga. The only thing is that all dancers practice yoga, but maybe all yoga practitioners may not be dancing. So we need more people to join in for the dance classes, and that culture has to be there from the very beginning. At the very small age, children should be initiated into it. And we are so lucky that we are lucky in this way that when we come outside, we are more proud of our culture.
That's nice.
That's true. That's true.
When we were in India, we took it for granted, I think. But when we came outside, we were surprised to see the love for our culture, the love for our dance, the love for our values. And I think then by coming outside, we found our true Indianness as well. And we have Namaste Festival actually. So we have to go very soon to Facebook Live. So sorry, we would like to listen to everybody.
Yeah, it's so beautiful to listen everyone.
But we'll have to leave because we just have to, after some time, we have to go Facebook Live. Thank you so much,
Dr. Rajesh Mishra ji. And thank you so much for listening us.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Vaishali ji, and thank you so much, Hemant ji. It was so nice listening to both of you. You all were in perfect tune with each other. I completely enjoyed your topic regarding saying about Pratham Shreni, Madhyam Shreni, and Uttam Shreni. It was good to know those topics to me, and I perfectly agree with you, Hemant ji, regarding that if your body is fit, your dance is fit. I would always remember this for sure. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot. So we now move on to our last keynote speaker, Guru Monalisha Ghosh ji. She is one of the leading exponents of Oddisi dance, choreographer and teacher. Her Gurukul named Kalajoti near Kolkata for Indian classical and traditional performing arts has won accolades in India and across the globe. I invite Monalisha ji, please say some few words about your experiences.
Namaskar. I convey my regards at the beginning to Honorable Consul General of India, Shri Madan Raigar ji. My pranam to the eminent gurus in the panel. My hearty good wishes to the dancers, moderator, members of Shaktya, and dear viewers. Hardik Dhanyavad, Dr. Rajesh Mishra ji, for inviting me today. योगा के रंग कला के संग बहुत ही रोचक विषय है. Till early youth, I had participated in different performing arts, like acting on stage and film too. But at the age of 7, I got Diksha in Oddisi dance in the small town of Kathak, Odisha, and since then, the rest of my life is dedicated to Shastriya Nritya. उनकी रंग में ही अब भी डूबी हुई हूँ। Hence, मैं आज योगा और शास्त्रीय नृत्य की संबंध के बारे में शायद नया कुछ नहीं बताऊंगी, क्योंकि मेरे आगे जो बुजुर्ग कलाकार थे उन लोग बहुत कुछ बता के गए हैं, important things. But I will just say my own experience. I still remember what my guru said before he began my first training. He said, "Ma, you're going to begin a sadhana of an eminent Shastriya Nritya. Nritya is not only movement of the limbs, but it is also an awakening of your inner dancer resettled in your Atma. Maybe you have to grow up to understand what I'm telling you today. At least remember these words are while you're moving forward with devotion of the Lord, with the dance, please remember these words." In latter years, I saw legendary Guru Kalicharan Mahapatra frequently visiting the Konark temple, the Surya Mandir, with his sketchbook, sketching the static bhangimas, which are as sculptures found on the walls of the Konark temple, encoding each bhangi with names and creating marvelous compositions harmonizing these postures with rhythmic footwork, Anga Sanchalan, Vakya Sanchalan, Hasta Sanchalan, Kripa Sanchalan, Drishti Sanchalan, all harmonized together, and a beautiful creation arose. When I started visiting Europe as a dancer, guru, and choreographer, I felt very curious to know more deeply about the sources of these static poses. And through research, I found that the ancient yogic postures which we are using in our Indian classical dance are coming from the ancient yoga which were practiced by the rishis and munis from their positions. A striking example in the Oddisi dance is the Batu Nritya. The Batu Nritya has been composed as a homage to the Ekapada Batuka, the yogic stance of Mahadev, the Batukeshwara Bhairava. To speak about Yoga ke Rang, Kala ke Sang, very briefly, I will just mention about Dhyana Yoga, Hatha Yoga, and Laya Yoga. Dhyana Yoga involving the breathing techniques through the practice of pranayama. The process creating harmony of body. Physical dance, of course, foremost technique which is very much needed by a dancer. Now, Hatha Yoga. I think Hatha Yoga has the closest relationship to the classical dance, as it practices disciplining of the body. It focuses on physical and mental strength building exercises involving postures and practicing of various yoga mudras, as well as techniques awakening a spiritual energy in the body. Some of these mudras are included in the Sanjukta and Asanjukta Hasta mudras as per Abhinay Darpan and Natya Shastra. Just a few examples like Dhyana Mudra, Hamsasya, classical dance, Surya Mudra, the Mayura Hasta, Linga Mudra or the Karkata Hasta, Anjali Mudra or the Anjali Hasta, Ganesha Mudra, the Sankuta Hasta. These are only a few examples. When I speak of Laya Yoga, trains absorption or integration with the absolute. In Oddisi, the last item of the performance is named Moksha. Atma Paramatma mein vileen hona. It is said, according to Gita, the ultimate aim of human life is to merge his soul with the absolute. The dance, composed with this ideal, has been named Moksha in Oddisi. And my last point, spirituality is the core of all Indian art. Spiritual source of both yoga and Shastriya Nritya is one and the same. Nataraj, lord of the cosmic dance, balanced on one foot, dancing Tandava. It is believed classical dance took birth from his feet. And when we speak of yoga, Shiva is considered as the original master of yoga, mainly Hatha Yoga, which deals with stance and postures. Shiva, the one with snake encircled in his neck as garland, the Mahayogi in Hindu Puran, seated deep in meditation on Himalaya with ashes smeared on his forehead. It is my humble belief that Purna Sadhana of yoga and Shastriya Nritya results in recharging our body and mind and soul. It is a divine nectar of joy, love, and beauty of life. I have used a combination of yoga and dance therapy for the aged in Altersheim or old age homes, mainly in Germany, and those who took part, even those who are confined in wheelchairs, said they feel more alive and overwhelming in life after these practice sessions. यही तो योगा के रंग कला के संग है. In today's world of uncertainty and health crisis, कला और योगा ही इनके रंग ही हमें मानसिक और शारीरिक संतुलन में रख सकते हैं. I would like to end with a chant wishing health and happiness to everyone. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinam, Sarve Santu Niramaya, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschit Dukh Bhag Bhavat. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Yes.
Thank you so much, Monalisha ji. That was a perfect ending that we could all ask for. And thank you for showing us the different mudras and showing us how yoga is inseparable with nritya and how they go hand in hand with each other. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much.
This brings us to a perfect time for a wonderful performance, Bharatnatyam by Ms. Pooja Rangrajan. I invite Ms. Pooja Rangrajan.
Hello, namaste everyone. Thank you for having me here on this platform. Firstly, I would like to thank Dr. Rajesh Mishra and Dr. Rajesh Mishra Academy for organizing this wonderful Zoom event and all the wonderful speakers. It was really a pleasure to listen to such great artists talk on this platform. Today, I would be doing a semi-classical performance on 3 songs. So it would be a short semi-classical performance, and I hope you all enjoy this. Right. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this very classical performance. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pooja. That was really enjoyable, and it was lovely combination of Western music with a semi-classical dance performance. Thank you so much, Pooja. We now move on to the panel discussion. I hereby invite our podium speakers, Ms. Anisha Subramaniam, Ms. Anvita Pandey, Mrs. Prakruthi Kolay. May I request your inputs and experiences one by one with the role of yoga in classical dance performance. What are your experiences with it? Would you like to start, Ms. Prakruthi Kolay?
Thank you very much. A big pranam to all the eminent gurus present here today. I seek your humble blessings, and I don't think I would be able to present something which you have not already presented or spoken about, but maybe I will give my own perspective to this topic and add a couple of things here and there. And also a big namaste to Raigar sir and Mishra ji. Thank you for having me on this forum. So as we all celebrate International Yoga Day, it is my privilege to be a part of this forum. where we celebrate the spirit and essence of yoga, and more importantly, go beyond the superficial and mundane to explore the deeper aspects of this ancient art form, to trace the roots and to get a glimpse of the convergence of yoga and Indian classical dance forms at a spiritual and esoteric level. Um, Both yoga and classical dances have been existing since centuries, and they help us understand the manifestation of the divine or in the human form. That is the paths for spiritual evolution of the human being to the state of the superhuman, and finally the divine. In fact, in the Hindu tradition, gods and goddesses dance as a way of expressing the dynamic energy. Well, as already Shobana Didi had spoken about Nataraja, even Raja Reddy Garu had spoke about the Nataraja and the Karanas and everything. We know that Lord Shiva, also known as Yogi Raj, the consummate yogi, he is said to have created more than 840,000 asanas, among them a few which Hatha Yoga practitioners practice today. Both Patanjali's Yoga Sutra and Bharata's Natya Shastra, which are the central texts of yoga and dance respectively, were written around the same time and draw from the 4 Vedas. Both reveal an amazingly deep understanding of the human body system, the anatomical structure, and even the psychological and physiological processes. Both focus on the manipulation of the body weight and energy and the correspondence between the motor and sensory systems. In some sense, both yoga and classical dance are about striking a balance between the opposites. Practitioners of Hatha Yoga are often told that the word Hatha represents the joining of the sun, that is Ha, and the moon, that is Tha, that is respectively the masculine and the feminine energies. Even in Indian classical dance forms, this balance between the masculine and feminine energies we see in the form of Tandava and Lasya. Tandava, which is associated with strong, vigorous movements, and its complement, that is Lasya, embodies graceful, fluid movements. At the same time, we have a lot of Karanas in dance, which has been beautifully presented by Bhavana Reddy from Los Angeles. The Karanas are also based on the center line of the body in relation to the gravity, and include not only placement of the body, but also the attention of the different pathways of energies that flow through the body. Now, we know that we have 7 different chakras in the body, and when one of the chakras gets blocked, it triggers physical, mental, and emotional imbalances. Each chakra is a composite of all the 5 elements, and also the Agni chakra, which represents the mental, emotional body, and the core mother template representing consciousness. So this association with the 5 elements brings us to another common thread between yoga and dance, that is the Hasta Mudras or hand gestures. We have Hasta Mudras both in Indian classical dances as well as yoga. In yoga, we use Hasta Mudras for communicating externally, or rather, I'm sorry, through internally, but in Indian classical dance forms, we use them to communicate externally. These mudras are based on the concept that all the 5 fingers correspond to the 5 different elements. The Hasta Mudras in yoga practice channel higher energies into the body and mind. Mudras play a very important role along with asanas, pranayam, mantra, meditation in Raja Yoga and Hatha Yoga, as has been already spoken about by the keynote speakers. Mudras are believed to have tremendous healing powers and also have the ability to change how our body works and energy moves within the body. In Indian dance, mudras reflect various types of self-expressions and creative unfoldment. In this area, mudras have evolved into a whole language capable of expressing the subtlest spiritual truths, the most refined human emotions and thoughts without having to speak a single word. I think this is a very, very important feature in Indian classical dance. And the whole gamut of mudras in both yoga and dance is so immense that I think it will take months to even delve into the intricacies of different significances of each mudra. So I would just like to mention a few mudras, and one of them is the Alapadma mudra, which according to the mythology, it originates from Shri Krishna, referring to the time when he was a young child stealing butter and milk. It is used in Indian classical dances to create context and express emotional stress, and to express a feeling of love or yearning to the beloved, and to represent the moon, the face, flowers, etc. Yogis believe that it stimulates all the 5 fingers, and therefore activates all the 5 elements in the body. It improves the circulation and benefits the heart, boosts vitality, and energizes the body and the mind. This then we have the Chin Mudra, which is perhaps one of the most commonly used mudras in yogic practices. It is said that the index finger represents the individual consciousness and the thumb represents the universal consciousness. So when they come together, the Chin Mudra represents the union of both these. So it sharpens the intellect and reduces daydreaming during meditation and lifts depression. In dance, we call this Hamsasya, and we use this for a lot of things, like to write, to show tears, or to show the time of the day, and things like that. So as it was mentioned by one of the keynote speakers, I also believe that both dance and yoga are not just superficial body exercises. The word sadhana comes into play here. I think both of them are a journey of a lifetime. So maybe many lifetimes, because it is impossible to cover this whole ocean of knowledge in both yoga and classical dance forms. And I think the younger generation, in my view, need to understand the depth of this spiritual significance of both yoga and dance, and incorporate this in their lives as much as possible, so that they have a spiritual connection to the Almighty, and probably take this in their lives, help them become better human beings. So I would like to conclude with probably the most commonly used mudra in both yoga and dance. That is the Anjali Mudra, as a humble salutation of expression of surrender to the greatness of life, of yoga, and of classical dance. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prakruthi ji. That was really nice to hear you, and how important the mudras are, and how the mudras have originated from yoga. So, I would now move on to Ms. Anisha ji, if she could share some of her experiences.
Thank you very much for having me. I feel humbled to be in the midst of such great gurus, and I am honestly tongue-tied in right now to say, because I feel that everything that I have to say is so insignificant compared to the ocean of experience that they have. So I cannot, what can I say more about the Shastras or the Nati Shastras or anything more than they have. So I'm just going to try to share my personal experience and the little that I have learned from my students, the little that I know about energy or dance, and I really hope that one day I will come close to where they are. So for people often start off going to yoga class first and then to dance. But then for me, it was the reverse, because, and this is what I have noticed, that so many children have so much of energy that they don't know what to do with. And I was one of them. Yes, I would daydream a lot. Yes, I did not go to the point of being a destructive child, but I just had so much of energy that I did not know how to harness. And if you come to think of it, what is dance? Dance is just the channelizing of your energy in a yogic way. So if someone tells me that dance and yoga are mutually exclusive, it is just it is baffling, because to me, um yoga set to music, to tal, is dance, and everything, and the whole cosmos is set to tal, is set to rhythm. So I don't think that these two elements are mutually exclusive from one another. And my dance form, Kathak especially, requires a lot of vigor, and at the same time a lot of um, sthirtha, which is actually the static dynamic. There is a beautiful balance of the dynamic and the static element over here. So um, just like the beautiful Oddisi sculptures that are made, that are all set to a perfect geometric proportion, your breathing has to be on the mark if you want to establish that perfect balance between static and dynamic. So for me personally, the breath work, the breathing of yoga was very, very important for the dance. Also, I had a lot of breathing issues as a child. So healing is done by integrating yoga and dance. I, the amount of the amount of health issues that you face or anything, I believe almost can be under control. Of course, medication, doctors, definitely, but yoga and dance are the traditional way of making sure your body, mind, and your it is a wholesome well-being for me. And also I have noticed in the number of children that I have worked with, I've had the privilege of working with street kids also. They when we start off training them initially, again there is a lot of anger in them, there is a lot of resentment in them. Yes, their basal chakras are blocked, they cannot, but once they start, first few days they're completely out of tune. But then when they start practicing the pranayamas, when they start regulating breathing, movement, and later they added the added element of music, which soothes them down completely. This is the perfect combination of tala, rasa, and all their bhavs, all their emotions which are in excess are completely balanced by this. So it's beautiful. Again, I am not very well versed in the Vedas or in the scriptures, but I would definitely like to I would love to know more about that. At the same time, I would like to take dance. I would like to separate religion, spirituality from dance, for because for me dance is my healing, and it is, and here this is how I would like to look at dance, as my connection with the divine, my connection with the force that is higher than me, my connection with something that energizes me. So again, I would like to thank everyone for listening today to what I have to say. And it is lovely to have so many people from different dance forms contribute today in this forum. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Anisha ji. That was really insightful, and especially you sharing your childhood experiences of streamlining the energy. I think it's very important for children today as well. So it's for children to know how to streamline their energies. So I still have questions, but before we do that, can I also ask Ms. Anvita ji with her personal experiences on the role of yoga in classical dance forms?
Sorry, I was on mute. So at first, I would like to thank Rajesh ji for giving me the opportunity to share my little experience in front of the great gurus, and my humble pranam to everyone. Like as I have been actively listening to all the talks and making my notes, and they have covered, all these great gurus have covered such deeper aspects of yoga that it has actually given me a lot of content to even explore further. But whatever little experience I have, and I would just like to draw my thought, draw light on that. So as everyone rightly mentioned, yoga is about dhyana, the meditation, and so is the dance. So is Indian classical dance, which is about sadhana. So the one common connection is about the sadhana. I feel sadhana is basically right from the way you stand in the dance. So it's, for me personally, it is similar to Tadasana, where you stand and you feel the energy flowing from the ground, you know, and you feel lifted and tall. And same as my standing posture in Kathak is that I feel elevated, but yet I am grounded. And to be able to do it correctly, I need to be in the moment. So it's about being present, being centered. And I think another common aspect in both yoga and dance is alignment and breath. So it's not just the physical aspect, but it's also about being mindfully present. For example, we have our basic hastas, or the basic movements, which are on the syllables of 8 counts. That is ta, the, tat, a, the, tat. And for me, the ta, the, tat, a, the, tat is not just a shape. It's also the feeling. It's also coming from inside. The ta, the, tat, the first 4 count will be the inhale. A, the, tat will be the exhale. And this is how now I try to also explore my movement vocabulary and try to connect it more with yoga and breath. I would also like to share, like, I am now falling in love with all the mythological pieces every time I do it, because it's just a feeling that I have explored, that each time I do a piece, a composition which is slow, or which has a mood. A mood could be a mood of a devotee, or depicting a god, or if it's a tumuri, so, or it's a situation. To get into that mood, I need to meditate, and sometimes the music is so slow, the movements, or like the gurus mentioned, you know, we are doing some asanas in a slow way, and that itself is like yoga. You're traversing the different asanas, and it's like a vinyasa yoga for me. So that is one aspect. And lastly, I would just like to say that the third important aspect for me about the yogic aspect is the tehrav, or the stillness. And it's like presenting the dance but still being grounded. Or even if we are portraying a very chanchal or a very playful character, but there is still a maturity there, which I also feel comes through being more meditative, being more focused, being more into the mood, being present. That's all I have to say. And thank you so much. And it was a pleasure to be a part of this forum and interacting and listening to such wonderful thoughts from all the gurus and participants. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Anvita ji. Thanks a lot. I really enjoyed your journey, especially, and I still have one burning question to all three of you, and that is, since most of our audiences are non-dancers, what would you suggest? How do we integrate dance and yoga in our daily lives? Some inspirational, one input from each of you would be very helpful. Would you like to start, Ms. Prakruthi Kolay?
Yeah, sure. Well, for somebody who has not danced before or done yoga before, I think it is important to start somewhere. So I will talk about it from the dance perspective because I'm mostly a Bharatnatyam dancer, and then I also do yoga parallelly. So as a dancer, if somebody is interested in learning Indian classical dance form, then it is important that they start off by probably watching dance performances. I am not talking about, well, in COVID times, yes, there are mostly online forums, but I'm sure we will get past this and there will be Sabha Pro performances or live performances. So it is important that they watch, and when they watch, not just watch, but observe why somebody is doing this and how is it that this story is being told and what kind of hasta mudras or what kind of movements are there. For example, I'm sure there are a lot of people who cannot differentiate between various Indian classical dance forms, not even pop or jazz or flamenco or anything. Even Indian classical dance forms, it looks the same. Oh, Bharatnatyam, isn't that same as Kuchipudi? Isn't Oddisi the same as Manipuri? Isn't Kathak the same as Kathakali? Because it sounds similar. Kathak and Kathakali are like poles apart. We all know that. So just inform yourself a little bit before you watch some performances, and watching performances will also bring a lot. And start from the basic. And again, it is not about milestones. It is not about, okay, I start performance right now, that expectation, this instant gratification era that we are living in, that I start learning dance today and in 2 months I will be ready to do my arangetram or a stage performance. That doesn't work. So to have, not just for the students who's interested, also for the parents, they need to have this patience, they need to have this perseverance and dedication to, you know, see it through. And there will be ups and downs. I'm really grateful to my parents for having supported me in my downs and, you know, encouraged me during my ups of my dancing life. It's a process. It does not start one day and finish one day. It's not like if I have to give an analogy, not like a cake that you mix everything and then within an hour you have the product ready. So Indian classical dance, and I think I can surely say even yoga as well, is not something that you can make it, within this amount of time. I have 2 years, so within 2 years, I need to be able to perform in this platform, that platform. But it doesn't end there. Then after that, what? So this whole perseverance, this whole journey, it is that of a lifetime. So if somebody wants to get into a dance or dance field or yoga, I think patience, perseverance, dedication, of course, and a lot of willpower is also important. So that's all that I have to say.
Thank you for your views, Prakruthi ji. Would you like to also add anything to this, Anvita ji and Anisha ji?
Sure. Should I, or Anvita, would you like to go in? Okay, so my points, again, a lot of very good points covered, but my point, actually, I would like to address the different sections of the audience. One is mothers who want to get their daughters into classical dance. And even if the daughters are very little, my humble request to all of you all is, why don't you start dancing? Looking at you, emulation is the strongest form of learning. So looking at you, your children will start dancing. Point number 2 is classical dance is not just for girls. And no, your boys will not become any less of men if they perform classical dance. So please, dear parents, encourage your children, encourage your children to dance. And as far as yoga, connection with yoga will come, is, see, once you reach a certain level of dance, you will realize that it's impossible. Like, you have to do your Surya Namaskars, you have to breathe, you have to perform Anulom Vilom, only then will you dance. So definitely dance and yoga, it will all come in together. In fact, I want to add the element of music. My request is, please teach your children some musical instrument. It may be the tabla, it may be the sitar. Their sense of rhythm will improve. They will. And the wonderful thing about dance and yoga is it gives you a sense of discipline. See, as kids, it's okay. But as teenagers, then, you will realize, oh my God, I have to get up and go for class tomorrow. I can't afford to party late. I can't afford to have alcohol, because your whole lifestyle will become much healthier if you include classical art forms in your system. Like, okay, I understand children have exams now, they can't always, that's okay. But once you start making these things a part of your life, your entire outlook on life will become much healthier. Health issues for both men and women can be nipped at the bud when there is this form of music and dance that's a part of your routine. So I would like to say that you have to make it a part of your everyday life. It cannot be just a once in a way thing. And once you integrate it in your everyday life, you will see the quality of your life, your mind, your body, your soul just improve. So that's my 2 pence on it.
Thank you for touching upon the gender roles. It was really important. Thank you.
Yes, so I will quickly throw light on this, as rightfully covered by Prakruthi and Anisha. So if the first step is to, of course, develop the interest. Okay, so to all the people who are not associated with yoga and dance yet, so to develop the interest, the first thing is to watch, observe, watch videos, go to classes, trial classes, look for details. And once you're sure of it, I think the second step would be to do your research, like good amount of research, because every style, like if we take one classical dance also, there are so many styles and there are so many gurus. Similarly for yoga also, there are so many styles. Which style you want to go for? That would be the second step. And the third step is to just start. You have to then, after your research, you have to start somewhere. And it's interesting, the curve is it's always a very struggling curve whenever we start something new. It looks like it's so hard because we do not have a background. But two important things to learn or to go through or even to enjoy your journey whenever you are learning something new is consistency and patience. So, and I guess it holds true for both yoga and classical dances. It's very important whether you've taken any style of yoga or dance. If you really want to grow into it, you have to be consistent. Consistent doesn't really mean that you have to do it daily, but there has to be a schedule, a disciplined way of doing things. And patience because it's like, you know, you are nurturing a plant that will grow into a tree and bear fruits. So you cannot have, I mean, it's a harsh truth, but one should not seek instant results in this. Results will surely come, but it takes time. So I think if you just keep this thing in mind, be determined about it, have a schedule, be consistent, and be patient, I think no one can stop you. Thank you.
Thank you. I would thank all of you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much, Anisha ji, Anvita ji, and Prakruthi ji, for such lovely conversations and putting your views through the role of yoga in dance. I would now like to end this panel discussion and would like to invite my friend and my fellow colleague, Ms. Kulwinder Rai ji, and present her vote of thanks. Thank you.
Namaskar to all. I would like to thank on behalf of Shaktya FAO for this amazing event, योग के रंग कला के संग, जो सारा संपूर्ण हुआ आप सभी के संग. First, I would like to thank our Honorable CGI, Shri Madan Raigar ji, Incredible India, Dr. Mishra Academy, Jinko, Indian Community Bremen, Telangana Association, and IESH Hannover, and respected all keynote speakers and participants. Thanks to all. Stay happy and healthy. Namaskar.
Thank you. I'm sure the Raigar sir is here still. Raigar sir,
yeah.
आप कुछ कहना चाहेंगे लास्ट में 2 मिनट? Thanks to officially finished, but still if
no,
you are.
Yes, I'm very much here and I was following the events. Every word of all these gurus and you know, the exponent dancers who just wonderfully, because it's a tapasya for them for so many years, and which they just put in 15 minutes for them was very, very less time you miserly gave them, but time is always precious in the webinars. But nevertheless, this was a wonderfully organized event, and we look forward to have such many more. And almost what a finale of Indian International Day of Yoga, which we had started on 21st. And in fact, during this Corona pandemic, we have been doing all those events throughout almost 2 months. But it was a grand finale. But I would say that this should not be the end of it. We will keep doing such wonderfully organized events in future. Thanks to you, Ms. Raji, and all the team you have behind the scene who have helped you, and all the keynote speakers. We look forward to see them in such webinars, and sometime in future we pray in real events. So we look forward to that we have those real events soon. We pray that this Corona pandemic goes. Stay safe, keep yourself healthy, happy. Thank you. God bless you all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. And actually, we are not doing just webinar. So I would like to show how we are doing here. So you will see how much preparation we are doing. Can you show that? Just
sure.
Sumit, one minute.
Dr. Mishra, can I say something? Professor Dr. Abha Singh.
Sure, please.
I think you people should take an initiative as a psychologist and behavioral scientist. I want to make a remark. Wonderful things I learned today. As Dr. Mishra knows me, I have a lot of interest in yoga, and I myself do yoga and meditation. And I am taking it forward to prevent mental health issue and the problems in our country, in India. Similarly, you people can take it forward by initiating maybe something like how to take yoga and dance to prevent mental health issues, which is a great problem in our country and worldwide. I think it would be a great initiative from you all. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. We will do. So now you will see that how much prevention. Can you turn the camera? Can you just remove this one? Just show, just slowly turn. So you will see how much preparation. They are also practicing dance with you all, and they're listening. And then
yeah, I know Shovana ji myself, and she's my good friend.
And then this is our full screen. And then these are our teams which helping.
Yeah, they all did wonderfully well, and I learned a lot. And I was connecting with psychology, you know.
Thank you. Sure, we will do.
Because people are suffering from mental health issues a lot.
Right. Ji. So
dance is one factor which motivates everyone.
Thank you. So thank you, sir. Thank you to everyone. Again, we see us.
Thank you very much.